on WCW Pro Chicago, we have a tremendous tag team main event. The two big guys, Vinny Vegas and Mr. Hughes, will go up against one of the newest teams in World Championship Wrestling, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and the Russian Nightmare Nikita Koloff, coming up this week on WGN.
Hey old school wrestling fans, welcome to this review of WCW Pro from 23rd of December, or May, sorry, 92. And oh my god, the Diamond Stud is still around. I thought he'd left by now. Anyway, he smashes through jobber Dan Beard with those Texas Tornado style boots, polishing him off very easily with the nice looking back suplex off the top rope, and then the move that in the future would become known as the Razor's Edge for an easy 3 count, and we get some comments from Madusa.
Oh, it's hot. It's as hot as the #1 fatal attraction. But I'm intelligent enough to know that Steamboat's basic instinct is to want to kiss, to lust, after the first lady of WCW. Steamboat, I don't do fatal attractions. I've had enough adversities in my life to overcome without you following me into malls, sending me flowers. Your problem is that you have a 7-year itch with your wife and all you're doing is bugging me. Face it, the only man in my life is ravishing Rick Rude. And I had enough of your slap-happy days. You don't hit, slap the first lady of WCW, and all you can do is say, oh, I'm sorry, even getting down on your knees isn't enough. An apology is an expression of regret, where the voice seldom matches its words.
Oh, she so wasn't reading that from the script, right? Well, as terrible as that promo was, I've got to give them some props for the clever film references they shoehorned in. Basic Instinct was very fresh at the time, if you excuse the pun, because that was only a couple of months old and it was a massive box office hit, probably because of the star power of Sharon Stone in many ways. But yeah, it got over 300 million in total at the box office, impressive for that sort of film, and it got 50 million in the first weekend, so well, props to Madusa for being such a film buff. My kind of girl, and proof that she is the real first lady of WCW, and I guess she'll get to prove that against that wannabe Missy Hyatt at Beach Blast. Here's some classic Sharon Stone.
You like playing games, don't you?
I have a degree in psychology. It goes with the turf. Games are fun.
What about boxing? That's a game. Was that fun too?
I don't think that's relevant to this inquiry.
Boxing was fun till Manny died.
How'd you feel when he died?
I loved him. It hurt.
How'd you feel when I told you Johnny Bonds had died?
I felt like someone had read my book and was playing a game.
But it didn't hurt.
No.
Because you didn't love him.
That's right.
Even though you were fucking him.
You still get the pleasure. Would you like a cigarette, Nick?
That's pretty cold, ain't it, lady?
I'm a writer. I use people for what I write. Let the world beware.
Next up, the natural Dustin Rhodes against Richard Morton, but not before Eazy-E and the WCW magazine.
The WCW hits the Gulf Coast by storm with Beach Blast coming June 20th exclusively on pay-per-view. One of the great matchups coming your way, we'll see the WCW World Tag Team Champions Rick and Scott Steiner facing the incredibly powerful combination of Terry Bam Bam Gordy and Dr. Death Steve Williams. On paper, this could be one of the most exciting tag team matchups of the year, and in the ring, it could be one of the most explosive in history. Let's hear from the champs.
Williams and Gordy want to come over here, try to take something that means a lot to me and my brother. Beach Blast. A lot of sun, a lot of girls, sandy beaches. A little different from over in Japan, ain't it? Small cars, small people, and old reruns of Godzilla. You know, my brother has a strange way of getting his point across, but it's true. We have a problem with you saying something's better than the United States. No way.
Back into the action, Morton shoots Rhodes into the corner and then ducks a clothesline, but then takes a lariat the second time of asking. Nice pressing slam by the Natural, who roughs things up with those big right hands, a twisty dozy toe type thing. Morton takes a well-earned time out. He then is blocked on a hip toss and takes one of his own, but then takes down the Rhodes by the hair and grounds him for a few minutes, working on that arm. Smart strategy. A reversal of the Irish whip there, and a nice atomic drop by Morton. Rhodes took in that one well, but just a 2 count for the veteran, as he once again grounds Rhodes, working on the chin this time. Classic old school psychology. Rhodes missing an elbow drop off the ropes, and Morton again back to the chin lock. Pretty smart. A nice lariat by Rhodes, but not the best cover. He gets just 2 on that one. He then meets Morton with a foot coming into the corner and the running bulldog for the 1, 2, 3. A solid match, but these two are maybe capable of better. I'll give it 2.5 stars.
Yeah. Boy, we've done some crazy things in our life and time. Many crazy things, but not stupid things. Not stupid things. Not like walking in front of a train. That would kill you. Or jumping out of an airplane without a parachute. That would kill you, too. Or doing steroids. That'll really kill you. So take it from the birds. Have a good time and beat everybody you can. But stay off the juice. Yeah.
You know, the Diamond Stud, upon returning to WCW, was very instrumental in costing Dustin Rhodes a victory against beautiful Bobby Eaton recently. And obviously, your focus is on Dustin Rhodes. My question to you, sir, is why?
Well, there seems to be a little problem because everywhere the Stud goes across this country, whether it's a shopping mall, a restaurant, a grocery store, in the gym, I hear people talking about Dustin Rhodes and what a young stud they think he is. Well, I'm here to tell you people now that there's one stud in WCW. It's the Diamond Stud. Rhodes, I used that match with Bobby Eaton to expose you as a loser. You're nothing but a snot-nosed punk. You're just like your old man, except he's a has-been and you're a never was. So get it right. There's one stud, and it's the Diamond Stud.
All right.
Next up, non-title match as former US Tag Team Champions Greg Valentine and the Taylor Mayman take on the recently crowned champions, the Freebirds. So we get an early roll-up from the backside from Jimmy Jan Garvin as the Birds work over the arm of Taylor. Hayes coming off the top rope with the sledge as the arm held in place, and we get the typical Freebird tactics on that one. Backdrop out of the corner, he gets 2 on Taylor, that being Hayes, and then Valentine, the big hard hitter of the team, comes in with some massive knife edge chops, but then butts his head in the corner. Elbow drop by Hayes, as then the heels double team Garvin trapped in the corner, but Hayes of course has to even things up. All 4 men in the ring. Sunset flip by Garvin, but the referee distracted. Taylor breaks that up, and then a diving knee onto the head, but just a 2 count. Valentine with a big double axe handle off the top rope, and a nice looking suplex into a throw. And he might have got him, but Garvin able to put the foot on the bottom rope. Taylor comes in, reverses that move by Garvin, but then is a little sloppy, telegraphing that one. Knees to the breadbasket as Hayes picks up the pace again. A nice elbow drop onto Taylor. Again, shoots him off the ropes. A tonic drop. And he pops in with that classic Hayes right. And another one on Valentine for good measure. Crossbody by Hayes. Taylor weasels out. And we get this weird DQ finish. Valentine posting Hayes. And that leads to the DQ. Hayes appears to be injured, so Garvin checks on his partner. But this seems to be an introduction to the Bill Watts shit, which is coming in. But this feud has gone stale. 2 stars. WCW Magazine.
WCW has signed Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Ravishing Rick Rude to a 30-minute Iron Man challenge. Now, the rules for this match are really simple. A score clock is set for 30 minutes running time. And the wrestler with the most decisions in the 30-minute time limit is declared the winner in the Iron Man challenge. What's not so simple is a history of physical, personal, and emotional attacks aimed at Ricky Steamboat from Ravishing Rick Rude. But when you listen to the Dragon, one thing is very clear. Steamboat's focus goes way beyond the U.S. heavyweight title.
Right here in the Gulf Coast, the hottest time of the year, with the hottest issue going. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat against you, Ravishing Rick Rude, and I want you so bad in this 30-minute Iron Man challenge. Who is the best man? You or I? Who can withstand who? The outlook of this particular match is who's going to be able to pin who the very most and walk away from it. That's right, I said walk away from it, Rick Rude. You've brought my family into it. You've brought my wife into it. You've had my little boy involved with this. This is a personal issue. This dragon wants to rid of you. I'm breathing fire more than ever, Rick Rude, and I want you. 30 minutes, my man. 30 minutes. Talking about 30 minutes. Talking about seeing who can pin whose shoulder to the match the most times. Talking about Beach Blast. Who's the Iron Man? Well, here I stand, Ricky Steamboat, as the United States champion. You made a hard play for my woman, and she still's by my side. I guess that ought to prove who the real Iron Man is. And as for pins, I don't care. What I'm into is pain. And you better be sure that the Beach Blast will be our last, as I prove to Ricky Steamboat what the ladies of the world have known all along. As the night goes longer, Rick Rude gets stronger.
And finally, WCW promoters have signed a match between Cactus Jack and the WCW World's Heavyweight Champion Sting. That is definitely a match made in heaven for Cactus Jack. You fans that have been following the unorthodox wrestling style of Cactus Jack know that this man is as comfortable wrestling in a bullpen as he is in a wrestling ring. In fact, Cactus Jack seems to be at his lethal best when he's outside of the ring. And wrestling fans, Cactus Jack should be all smiles when he meets the new WCW World's Heavyweight Champion in a match where pinfalls count anywhere on the Gulf Coast. I'm Eric Bischoff, and this has been the WCW Magazine.
Next up, the guy who will be challenging Flying Brian for the light heavyweight title at Beach Blast, Scotty Flamingo cruises past jobber Larry Santa and his Christmas-themed tights. Santa missing a flip over the ropes, a tight elbow in the corner by Flamingo, who hits a clothesline, and the standard Palm Beach Blast, his piledriver move for the 1-2-3.
What's been going on about the NWA, and frankly that brings back a lot of memories for me. You see, WCW is a member of the National Wrestling Alliance, the oldest governing body in the sport. It's an alliance of wrestling promoters worldwide which recognizes world champions in both singles and tag team in the heavyweight division. Now, some of the greatest athletes in the world have competed under the banner of the NWA. I'm happy to say I've had a chance to work with many of the great promoters who made the NWA what it is today. Sam Muchnick of St. Louis, Bob Geigel down in Kansas City, Don Owen of Portland, Jim Barnett of Atlanta, Steve Rickard, and he came from New Zealand, are just a few of the names which have worked to hold the NWA together. The tag team tournament will begin on Tuesday, June 16. We understand a tournament to determine the NWA World Heavyweight Champion will be held soon. This is an exciting time for wrestling fans everywhere. I'm Jack Brickhouse with another Brickhouse Bonus.
And WCW apparently has had one thing only on his mind. That was Sting. It's almost an obsession with you.
Oh yeah, look real deep into this face. These are the eyes of a man with a lot on his mind. A lot on his mind. And look who's in the front page again. Look who's in the spotlight, Sting. Remember this face, but you ought to remember it because I am the man who made you champion. Oh yeah, and you thank the Stingers, you thank everyone. But what about Cactus Jack Sting? Stinger, now I get my turn. In my kind of match at Beach Blast, Mobile, Alabama, a match where falls count anywhere. Don't bother reading the book, Sting, because Cactus Jack wrote it. No, it might not be for the heavyweight belt because I have this funny feeling, that the heavyweight title may not be yours by the time Beach Blast comes around. Van Vader put you out, he cracked your ribs, he started the boat sinking. Don't expect Rick Rude to be bailing water, he'll push you down further. And then, Sting, you get to look into these eyes, and Jim Ross tell him, it's no privilege. You get to look into the eyes of the man who will end all the little Stingers. And it's Beach Blast, Mobile, Alabama, Believe me, every last one of you, the end is in sight. The end is in sight, baby!
Main event time as the powerhouse team with a sharp eye for fashion, Mr. Who's and Vinny Vegas, baby, take on the newly formed Nikita Koloff and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat team. So Steamboat, using his quickness early on, diving down out the way of Hughes, a nice elbow drag or arm drag, using the momentum. That was Vegas. He gets a hip toss on Hughes, who then delivers an elbow drop and a hard clothesline by Vegas on the Dragon for a 2 count. He continues his cockiness and power display, but then this sunset flip on Vegas looks really rough thanks to the big man. Steamboat just gets 2. He courageously goes for a body slam, but the weight is too much and he almost gets pinned. But then a well-timed tag to the Russian Nightmare, who comes in hammering away on the arms of Vegas. A shoulder block, awkward bump there from Vegas as the heels trap Koloff in the ring. Double team, the Dragon getting a bit overzealous. Running shoulder or flying shoulder tackle by Koloff. Steamboat back in with a nice drop kick on Vegas, and they pair off, sending the big men into each other, centre of the ring, as Steamboat hits the top rope with a nice looking axe handle or chop off the ropes, but Who's is there to save Vegas from the pin. A messed up Russian sickle eliminates Who's from the match, and then a crossbody from Steamboat for the 1, 2, 3. Not the best match overall, it could have been better, some sloppy moves. I'll give it 2.5 stars.
Duel in the Sun, a bikini contest to determine the real First Lady of WCW. As you know, both Madusa and Missy Hyatt claim to be the real First Lady, and this showdown should put an end to their debate. Let's hear what Missy Hyatt thinks about the Duel in the Sun coming your way at Beach Blast.
Madusa, 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 please keep your clothes on, because I know there's a lot of people out there that would pay for you to keep your clothes on, not off, okay? I mean, I don't know what you're thinking about. You must be crazy or something, because I'm WCW's First Lady of Wrestling, and WCW also stands for Wrestling's Classiest Woman, something that you're not see at Beach Brawl.
I take it back, maybe Missy is the First Lady of WCW with that sort of classy promo. So, with that said, look out for my review of Beach Brawl. Must be a new pay-per-view. Okay, see you guys.